What's up, guys? Your boys, 20K13. Going to talk about 10 wrestlers who could be the next big thing in WWE. And this comes from WhatCulture.com. The concept of the next big thing will forever be attached in the mind of many to Brock Lesnar and his astonishing push to the top of the WWE in 2002. It's a nickname he got landed with before Here Comes the Pain became his catchphrase. It's clear that Vince McMahon saw nothing but dollar signs when he looked at Lesnar, and for good reason. The problem is that since Lesnar left WWE in 2004, the only performer to receive a similar level of support from the office has been John Cena, Randy Orton, and Batista, have received individual pushes to true main event status, but dropped back down to the upper mid-card again. Likewise, veterans like The Undertaker, Chris Jericho, and Triple H had dipped in and out as and when the boss required. Now Batista gone to the movies, Taker, Jericho, and Hunter are semi-retired, and Orton might as well be judged by the lack of ideas they have for his character. Others have been and gone. For the most part, both CM Punk and Daniel Bryan got over despite their booking, not because of it. The Shield was booked perfectly while still a unit, but that protective instinct has largely vanished since their split. Each man suffering from a different variation on the WWE usual inconsistent and unenthusiastic approach to the main event push, with a sudden rise in public awareness of the revamped developmental system in NXT. However, there is new interest in who the WWE next master superstar might be, and whether WWE current environment allows for the creation of true stars at all. That's the disgruntled fan line, isn't it? Stubborn and egotistical Vince Kennedy McMahon admittedly refused to listen to the fan base of his own product. We'll like what he tell us to like, damn it. Except the main event of the last two WrestleMania events were eventually amended specifically because the fan kick off. Maybe there's hope after all. Before we kick off this list properly, let's take a look at an honorable mention. Honorable mention. The four horsewomen. Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Bayley, apparently collectively referred to as the four horsewomen of WWE NXT due to the Ric Flair connection, are the four wrestlers considered to be revolutionizing women's wrestling on NXT programming right now, and the buzz around them is enough to get people seriously excited about what might happen when they caught up to the main roster. Individually or as many hope at a stable. We love nothing more, but we're not optimistic anything will change. The main roster Diva division is a bottomless pit of bad, one-dimensional booking, comfort break matches, and hair-pulling feuds, transforming even ultra-talented veteran wrestlers like Paige into sarcastic hairstyle and hot pants that's not due to the quality of the talent, but the identical character they chose to play. The worthless story they chose to tell and the tiny amount of time they given to do those things in. The problem with women's wrestling in WWE is an institutional thing, and it's a Vince McMahon thing. We don't see that changing until someone else is in charge, although we love to be proven wrong. Number 10. A.R. Fox. Independent standout A.R. Fox, real name Tommy Ballester, is a high-flying, charismatic, wonderkind, and 8-year professional wrestling veteran with experience across the length and breadth of the USA as well as Japan. As rallying cry for promotion like Dragon Gate USA, Evolve, and Combat Zone Wrestling, AR Fox can pretty much do it all. His reputation is that of a superhero, tireless, indestructible, and incredibly exciting to watch. Athletic, yes, in the same sense that the Flash is pretty quick on his feet or the Hulk had an anger management problem. He already gone on record as saying that he wants to move on up to the WWE at some point, seeing it as the natural point of progression for an American wrestler. He also a veteran of matches with both Samurai Del Toro and Yuha Nation, both of which now work for WWE. Nation has just signed with NXT, and while Del Toro now works as Carlito, one half of the Lucha Dragon, with Sin Cara numero dos on Raw, so he got friends on the roster. There is some possibility that a slightly murky path may derail any chance for Fox in the WWE. However, if that proves not to be the case, then they'd be fools not to take him on. He make old school WWE fans favor Jeff Hardy look like a clumsy high school kid. Number 9. AJ Styles. Nicknamed the Phenomenal One, there isn't much that Styles can't do. Beginning his career famous for his athleticism, the real-life alien Alan Jones has gotten better and better over the years. Experience tempering his high-flying antics with artistic match savvy. Styles' problem always used to be character work. He was a lame duck on the mic and seemed bland when not being asked to kill it in the ring. That criticism he took to heart a few years ago, developing into a personality as well as an athlete and improving on the stick. At 38 years old, he's probably too long in the tooth to start all over again. But if WWE were to take advantage of his stellar reputation and shoehorn him straight into the roster under the name he used for almost his entire year, he could easily fit right into matches with Ziggler, Orton, anybody really, and he got a fair few years left on his career yet. A TNA mainstay pretty much from the beginning of the organization, wrestling fans have been salivating at the prospect of Styles in the WWE for over a decade. Now with his association with TNA and Newey, WWE seems finally to be coming around to the idea. Just make sure he skips NXT and loses the style clash as a finisher. Number 8. Bray Wyatt. Windham Rotunda had run through a significant number of identity and WWE developmental before hitting on the medical backwood cult leader Bray Wyatt in the spring of 2012. The near he come to a decent main roster attempt was as a part of the game show version of NXT under the god-awful name Husky Harris, and then as a blink and you will miss him member of the Nexus. Wyatt debuted on Raw with his family, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, on July 8, 2013. The vignette announcing their coming were Blair, Witch, Scary, and Rotunda promo were memorizing pieces of theater. Bray Wyatt was a success as a scary heel pretty much instantly, and every appearance seemed to get him further and further over with the crowd. Rotunda seemed to have finally struck gold so naturally that WWE dropped the ball with the Wyatt family, noodling them in a worse feud with John Cena, then disbanding the stable for no good reason, just over a year after their main roster debut. Wyatt been floundering ever since, ending up in forgettable, pointless feud with Chris Jericho, Dean Ambrose, and The Undertaker. His one unforgettable promo reduced to a long series of gaspy, directionless, content-free meandering, recorded in the dark backstage. Technically, he came out on top with Jericho and Ambrose, but it's a testament to WWE's lack of focused storytelling that it's difficult to remember anything about those angles. If the story wasn't memorable, then no one got over. It's not rocket surgery. It takes some time to rebuild him, but it could easily be done. Reform the family properly, recruiting more members from talented wrestlers in the mid-card that creative had nothing for, as people assumed would happen from the beginning. try to answer the question of why an eerie redneck coach would want to be a professional wrestler, and then parlay that character motivation into a desire to actually compete in and win proper wrestling matches. At some point in the next couple of years, Wyatt could easily slip into the Undertaker role of supernatural badass monster. He only needs the creative backup and a degree of protection from the office, just as Mark Calloway did back in the early 90s. Number 7. Ricochet. Trevor Mann is widely considered to be the finest high flyer working in the business today. He's been wrestling for 11 of his 26 years on this planet and under various different names. Right now he works for both the US and Japanese variant of Dragon Gate and Pro Wrestling Guerrilla under his most famous sobriquet Ricochet and on Triple A Lucha Underground television program as the Mad Luchador, Chris Puma. He's not a real luchador, he just plays one on TV. Man shows stopping athleticism, barely the fact that his in-ring storytelling ability is first rate. His grasp of psychology and selling is just as good as any of his peers, even if his promo leaves something to be desired. Astonishingly, he wouldn't get the chance to gravitate toward the WWE, but he tried out for them in 2014. Representatives from the company had never heard of him, despite his decade-long standout independent career, with the developmental talent who had heard of him began to mark out slightly that he was there. The company took on board at the implication that they didn't know the business and elected not to take him on board. No, we don't understand that either. But if you're looking for someone to take over where Rey Mysterio left off, you don't necessarily need just another little flippy guy in a colorful mask. You need someone who innovates and excels at every opportunity. Someone who can work with anyone, big or small, a brawler or a technical marvel. You need Ricochet. Number 6. Roderick Strong, a 15-year veteran of the square circle at only 31 years old. Chris Roderick Strong Lindsay has been a linchpin of the Ring of Honor roster for a dozen years now, as well as a feature of indie wrestling across the length and breadth of the world. There's good reason for that. Pound for pound, Strong is one of the best all-around wrestlers in the business. Working for Always for so long, his character and mic skill aren't the finest, but he played a douchebag here like he was born into the role. It's his in-ring ability that should see him courted by the big boys at the WWE though. Slick and grateful in everything he does, Roderick Strong simply excels in the ring. He actually already been on WWE programming. In early 2005, he appeared under his usual name on SmackDown as a participant in Kurt Angle's invitational storyline in a classic squash of a hometown boy. Strong is young enough to have another decade of almost peerless work in him before even considering taking a backseat, and experienced enough to be an extraordinarily valuable member of the WWE roster. He also the kind of talent that could get over simply through the sheer quality of his work, as Chris Benoit did before him, and his repertoire of backbreakers make a fine contrast to WWE over-reliance on variation on the common suplex. Number 5. Austin Aries, former TNA World Champion, 6-time TNA X Division Champion, and 2-time Ring of Honor World Champion Daniel Austin Aries Sowell Jr. recently left TNA when his contract expired, and may be the highest free agent in the business right now. Technically gifted, athletic, and intense, Ari is a perfect foil for easily half the WWE roster, just as Daniel Bryan and CM Punk were before him. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but his outside personality gets him over where his physicality doesn't. Decent on the mic, Soul World has the X factor, the intangible ability to connect with the crowd with very few words. Like Styles, Ari is in his late 30s and therefore probably doesn't have the time to spend 2 years getting a new character over with the WWE audience. So sling him in the mix and let him loose as is. After all, that's how they introduced the Radicals in January 2000, a fully formed entity. He people that the roster had heard of and were wary of, and WWE have done similarity on NXT recently with Samoa Joe, a man who had never worked for them before under any name, least of all that one. They should give him a shot. With years left on his lifespan as an active wrestler of his caliber, they'd be missing out if they didn't. And also he has the potential to get over with a WWE crowd in the same way as Daniel Bryan and CM Punk and even Kurt Angle before them. Number 4. Cesaro. Where do we start with Claudio Castagnoli? Everyone and their monkey knows that WWE are wasting his talent, making him the latest victim of their schizophrenic stop-start booking pattern. Everyone and their monkey knows that Vince McMahon saw him getting over and deliberately put the brakes on him, even to the extent of downgrading his entrance music from a dynamic air raid siren to a wobbly ambulance siren. Astonishingly, McMahon had actually gone on record on Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast as saying that he didn't see much potential in Cesaro, that he didn't have it, leaving aside how unprofessional and just plain rude it is for the boss to talk about a current member of the roster in public like that. The fact is that Castagnoli is the best wrestler working for WWE right now. He can work with anyone, big or small, rookie or veteran, and deliver like Gamebuster. Forget his ability as a worker. If you wish his preternatural strength, he should not be able to do half the things he does in the ring. Even at his invaluable size, alone nearly got him over with the crowd, and that was before the magic of those European uppercuts or the crowd-pleasing giant swing. WWE has found themselves painted into a corner with Brock Lesnar, having built the man up into the most fearsome monster the company's seen in years. How many people on the roster does the crowd think will have any kind of chance against the Beast Incarnate? When John Cena was flattened so convincingly at last year's SummerSlam, and The Undertaker utterly creamed at WrestleMania the previous spring, will we guarantee thereby Cesaro as a credible threat, whether babyface or heel, and with his tag team partner Tyson Kidd out of action for the foreseeable future? The Swiss Superman had an opportunity to make his case for a significant push, maybe into the main event. Number 3. Finn Balor. Virgil Davis has been one of the most talented figures in professional wrestling for a few years now. At 33, he's a 15-year veteran in the business, a man who opened a National Wrestling Alliance territory in Ireland at only 20 years old, and who trained numerous talented wrestlers back home, including one Rebecca Becky Lynch Quinn. We could go into all of his accomplishments in 8 years of wrestling in Japan as Prince Devitt, but it's as Finn Balor that Devitt going to turn head when he debuted on the main roster. His in-ring work is pretty much flawless. His look is fantastic. He's young, motivated, healthy, and charismatic. Oh, and did we mention that he transformed into a demon for the big fight matches? Finn Balor is named for two creatures of Irish mythology, the legendary hero Flann Mac Cumhaill and and Lagajai to Finn McCool and the Cyclopean Demon King Baylor. The storyline goes that the body paint and the physical entry Finn Balor uses to become the demon simply release a more aggressive, vicious streak in him. Like unleashing the Cactus Jack persona is kayfabe supposed to for Mick Foley. It's brilliant storytelling, both personal and mythical, as all the best stories are. So what the betting that main roster WWE wrecked it when David finally called up. Nonetheless, the sky's the limit in WWE for Finn Balor. Blessed with a great name, a fascinating gimmick, and the professional tool and skill to deliver on any program or angle placed in his hand. He's a future WWE World Heavyweight Champion if ever we've seen one. Number 2, Cody Rhodes. Much has been written on Cody Rhodes' ability as a wrestler, his underrated promo skills, and how these two combine with an invaluable nook and a fierce old school commitment to kayfabe and character should have made him a multiple time world champion by now. This is a man who rocked a Phantom of the Opera mask and got the worst mustache in record history over with the crowd after all. But the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. His older half-brother Dustin Goldust Runnels was and is a brilliant pro wrestler and character man par excellence, and their father, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, was one of the greatest and most popular professional wrestlers in history. Despite all this, WWE have never capitalized on what they have with Cody Rhodes, passing him from pillar to post and gimmick to gimmick, how they fail to see the potential in a man with this family tree and that skill set, not to mention that face is beyond us. Rhodes debuted his supervillain style character Stardust while teaming with his big brother. The tag team ran for several months until Stardust turned heel on Goldust, leading to an extraordinary brief feud between the Dust brothers. And how you wreck a sure thing like that is beyond us. He's been on a losing streak for a while, having only just scraped a win over perennial WWE whipping boy Zack Ryder in a dark match at the Elimination Chamber in January 2012. When his father, Dusty, passed away suddenly a few weeks ago. Neither Cody nor Dustin currently recuperating from an injury anyway, are expected back to work until they're ready. However, in keeping with the WWE usual morbid desire to milk genuine tragedy as much as possible, we fully expect Cody to ditch the Stardust makeup and jumpsuit upon his return to take back the family name. It's Chavo Guerrero all over again, except Cody Rhodes may finally be going places. And number 1, Utah Nation. If anyone got the skills and the presence to bust through the rumor glass ceiling for a wrestler of color in the WWE, it's Seisu Utah Nation Utah. Both a high flyer and a powerhouse wrestler, Utah Nation is a recent signee to a WWE developmental contract. An old buddy of fellow NXT performer Kevin Owens and Finn Balor, around 260 pounds and some change, built like a wall with an astonishing vertical leap. We talking about a man who combined a brawling, intense power style with the moveset of a luchador half his size. But he's not a freakily large spot monkey. Yuha knows how to work and how to talk, utilizing quality ring photography and storytelling to perform those athletic feats when they count, not just for the sake of it. He's something the WWE crowd hasn't often seen before. A wrestler capable of surprising them. Brock Lesnar was one back in the day as was The Undertaker. Cesaro is one now. The only thing that might stand in his way is that whisper about glass ceiling. It is true that black wrestler can't make it to the top of the mountain in WWE. It looks like we are about to find out because U Hot Nation is coming. Assuming he retains that name, of course, and assuming that WWE don't contrive to drop the ball here, too. Years of being let down have made us skittish and gun shy. Well, that's it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys on the next one. Peace.